Okay, raise your hand if you've learned something in the last 4 weeks. Okay. Do you guys have any questions before we get into some new stuff? No, everything has settled okay. There's nothing like kind of lingering where you're like, I didn't really get that. Wow. Yeah. So that's going to go back. Good question. Her question is, why aren't grains on the list? That's going to go back to the diet prescription, which has been the most successful in creating metabolic flexibility. So grains provide you primarily with carbohydrates, right? And so by reducing your grain intake, you reduce your carbohydrate intake. What is the general recommendation for how much relative to the other macronutrients you should be having carbs? So it's low. Low carbohydrate, moderate protein, high fat. That's the general recommendation. Grains tend to be the thing that we eat too much of. We tend to overeat it. If you can eat a tablespoon of rice, I applaud you. Most people don't eat a tablespoon of rice, which may be the appropriate amount per meal. And then at that point, it's like, why are you eating a tablespoon of rice? Okay. So that's why grains are not on the list, because it doesn't provide opportunity for our body to change and become more metabolically flexible. Okay. You guys remember our energy pathways, that we utilize food in different ways. We have the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the fats. They go into our system. They're utilized for different things. They have different purposes in the body. And remember the talk 2 weeks ago about, is carbohydrates essential? If your body can get what it needs out of fats and proteins, foods that are rich in fats and proteins, do we really need to eat foods that just give us carbohydrates? That's the question. I didn't answer the question. I just asked you the question. Remember that? But it's kind of that same idea, and why we cut out grains. I can also tell you from our quick cut experiments, cutting out grains is what strips the fat off. Grains and sugars. It just falls off of you. So if you want fat to fall off of you, that's why we cut out grains, because it works. Cool? Any other questions? Things that are kind of lingering? No? We're all good on the insulin talk from last week? Yeah? Okay. Awesome. Well, we're going to get into it. I'm really excited about today. After my trip to Seattle last week, I decided to change today's lecture. I don't know if you guys know this, but Spark was developed by a team of coaches. I did a lot of work on it myself with that team. And lecture 4, the one we're doing today, I wasn't super excited about. And I feel like you guys already got most of that information. And so I just changed it. So I'm bringing you a piece of the METFIX seminar that I really enjoyed, and I've made it into something that I think you can apply to your journey with nutrition to get some really great outcomes for yourself. Okay, here we go. If you have any questions, just let me know. My first question for you is, what is one thing that you don't understand about your body, or you wish you understood about your body? Just one thing. Yes. Awesome question. Very good. Hold that. Hold that question. Good. Give me another question. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome question. So we have, what in my diet contributes to better joint health, and how much do my hormones affect my fluctuations in my metrics on my scans? Great questions. Any other questions? They took your questions? Yes. Rude. Yeah. What does my sleep have to do with everything? Like your results? Yeah. Okay. Great question. What does my sleep have to do with it all? Good. Any other questions? What other questions do we have about ourselves? Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out if I work better on fat or carbs. Great question. Do I work better on fat or carbs? Awesome question. That's another great question. Any other questions? No? Yeah.
Is a higher metabolic rate better?
Is a higher metabolic rate better for health?
Health and absorbing the nutrients you're getting.
Yeah. The answer is yes. Metabolism, do you guys know what metabolism means? Metabolic metabolism. There's a little bit of faces. How fast you burn energy. Yeah, this is the common understanding of that word. Metabolism is every chemical process in the body, breaking things down and constructing things. Your hormones, your muscles, your bones, your fat, breaking it down, putting it back together. That's all metabolism. What has to do with metabolism? Literally everything. Okay. So your question is a faster metabolism good? Yes. You want a healthy metabolism. You want your body to have a high work capacity. We talk about work capacity when we work out, right? How much can you do in this amount of time? Do you want your body to be able to do a lot in a short amount of time? How about on a cellular level? Do you want your body to be able to do a lot in a short amount of time on a cellular level? Yeah? So the answer is yes. We want a strong, fast, healthy metabolism. We want your body to be able to construct and deconstruct the materials inside the body to produce you. Yeah? Okay. Any other questions? I know I answered her question. But any other questions you'd like to know about your body that you're like, this is a mystery? Yeah. How do I fix my insulin resistance? Yeah. Great question. Really great question. Good. I notice I'm not answering. Good. Okay. Any other questions? These are all great. No? Okay. Wonderful. Let's talk about science. Science is how you naturally get your answers. You do this all the time. You go run over something and in your driveway and you go, question, what did I run over? You get out of the car and you look. You just performed science. Okay? We do the same thing here in the gym relative to your nutrition. We go, oh my gosh, my body is storing fat more than it was before. What the heck happened? And we start looking. That's science. Okay? So this is the definition. It's a systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world. So you're looking, it's systematic. So you get out of your car, you look with your eyeballs. That's how most of us do science. We look. That's the structure and behavior of the physical world. So when you look at your body and you go, oh, dang, I've gotten bigger. Oh, dang, I've gotten smaller. Oh, dang, my hair is falling out. We are observing the behavior of the physical and natural world relative to your body. Yeah? Okay, that's the beginning of science. As soon as you make that observation, you've begun. Whether you like it or not. Like I said, this happens naturally. You observe and you experiment. You go, well, my hair's falling out. Maybe I'll take this pill. And then you take the pill and your hair stops falling out. Sorry, Josh, you forgot the pill. And then your hair stops falling out. And then what do you know? Whatever that pill's giving you is keeping your hair in your head, right? That's an experiment. You guys went, I don't feel good. You started working out and then you felt better. Did you make the observation that exercise makes you feel better? Great. Science. You just did science. You guys are all scientists. You test your theories against the evidence obtained. So you go, well, I think if I exercise, it's your theory. I think if I exercise, I'm going to feel better. You have this theory. You've heard about it. You've seen other people feel better, right? There's stories everywhere. One time you exercised and you felt better, right? So you go, I'm going to test it. What if I exercise every day of the week? How good could I feel, right? You're performing a science experiment. Everyone have like kind of a grasp of some times that you've done this? Okay, great. So the reason I asked you for some questions is because we're going to apply science to your questions. And you're going to make your own observations so that you know without a shadow of a doubt what is the answer to your question. Cool? Oh, this is just for fun. I found this image. So you guys have heard so much about nutrition and exercise. You've heard so much. You've heard that meat is going to kill you. Not only is it killing you, but it's killing the polar bears too. You've heard that eggs are bad for you, that it's going to raise your cholesterol and you're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 35. You guys are already dead who are over 35. You died because of your eggs, right? You've heard, what else do we have? What else? Oh yeah, fat makes you fat. Milk is bad for you. Basically, vegetables are bad for you. Have you heard? Did you know that vegetables are trying to kill you? Oh yeah, look it up. Oh, it's out there. Let me tell you. Fruit is dangerous. CrossFit's dangerous for sure. We know that one is definitely tested and true. And yeah, we all know that. That's why we're here. But right, there's so much stuff. Now, have you heard these things backed by science? Based on this research, based on this study, no, you guys haven't seen that? Has anyone ever watched a documentary on Netflix about eating meat?
Yeah.
Okay, listen closely. It's all backed by science, okay? It's based on this research, that paper, this doctor, this official, this blah, 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 okay? Guys, there's things that aren't true out there, and we all know that. We're learning and we're finding that there are things that are true and there are things that are not true. Okay, just because someone says or wrote that it was the result of a science experiment doesn't necessarily mean what they're presenting to you is true. Yes.
It's the way they set up the science experiment, the research. They take the hypothesis and then they gather data to prove that hypothesis to be true. So there's not inconclusive data in each of those experiments. It's just basically they go until they prove the hypothesis to be true and then they stop and write the paper.
Right.
And they leave out the stuff that
there's all
support them.
Yeah, that's one way they manipulate it, right? There's so many ways to manipulate what they want to have happen. There's a lot of, here's what I want to have happen. How can I make it seem true? Okay. So here's what we can do about it, right? We go, well, how do we know what to trust? Trust yourself. Trust your own eyeballs. Okay. You can trust your own eyeballs. Look for yourself. And that's what we're going to learn today, how to look for ourselves. I'm going to teach you what I've been doing on you forever. As long as I've known you, I've been using science on you. You are a science experiment. That's right. Welcome to my lab. You are a science experiment. This is all I do. So I'm teaching you what I do so you can do it on yourself and you can help others with it. When I started studying nutrition for real and started as a professional studying nutrition outside of school, I found that I had to find out for myself. And we have run experiments. Patty's been around for all of it, every single one. And every time I've said, guys, we're going to do this thing. We're just going to try it and see what happens, right? I've never come to you and been like, this is the answer. You have to do this. This is the only thing that works. It's always going to be like, hey guys, you want to try this thing? Supposedly this is the results they're getting. Here's the theories behind it, but let's test it. And then if it's stupid and it doesn't work, which we've run some stupid not working experiments, we don't do it again, or we change it and we modify it. One of the stupid ones was the 800-gram challenge. What was stupid about it? No, we all forgot to eat protein. We lost muscle mass. Yeah, we lost weight, but we lost muscle mass because we were so focused on eating 800 grams of fruits and vegetables a day, we forgot to eat our meat. There was no attention on the protein. We ran the experiment. It worked. We all got lighter, but we forgot about our muscle mass. Okay, so we changed it. And then we started doing lazy macros, which included the protein. Lazy macros worked pretty good, but we stopped losing fat mass. Dang it. Science, guys. Like I said, welcome to my lab. Okay, so this is just a funny little cartoon I found about that. Yeah. So the answer is this. Look with your own eyes. Test it yourself. There's nothing that will beat that. Your own experience, nothing can beat that. Okay? All right. So what is the scientific method? Do you guys remember this from school? Does anyone know what grade we learned this in? Fourth? Fourth grade? Wow, good memory. I don't remember.
Well, during COVID, I did fourth grade with my granddaughter.
And they learned you might be right. I think my son may be fifth is when he learned it. He's already forgotten it. He's in eighth. Okay, so it starts with observation. We observe something. We ran over something. Boom. We observe something, right? We get out, we look. We go, or we ask the question. We go, what was that? What caused the boom, right? We form a hypothesis. Okay, we go, oh, it's probably because my son left his, Barbie doll under my tire. I don't know. They like to leave things under my tire. Anybody else? Your kids do this too? They're like, they just shove stuff right behind my tire. So when I'm pulling out at like 4:45 in the morning, and it's like, and I'm like, what? And it's something flattened now. Yeah, it's like those squirrels that drop nuts on the road and let the cars drive over them. Yeah, that's my kids. They're like, I'm gonna have mom flatten this for me. So you form a hypothesis and then you run an experiment. So, let's go outside the car. Let's say you're gaining body fat. Okay, so you made an observation. You go, why am I gaining body fat? It's probably because I've been eating donuts every morning. And then you go, what if I don't eat donuts every morning? And then you stop eating donuts every morning. That's the experiment. And then you analyze. You go, oh, body fat came off. Crazy. Turns out if I eat donuts every morning, we learned something, right? If I eat donuts every morning, I gain body fat. That's your conclusion. And then you go, oh, I still have more fat to lose. And then it just starts again. What else could I do? Right? And you just go around and around and around until you are more and more fine-tuned into what you're doing. And then when your cousin at Christmas is like, hey, I heard donuts every morning are the thing for better health. Yeah, it's based on this study they did where they ate donuts every morning. And you're like, yeah, okay. I tested it. Didn't work for me. Right? Without a shadow of a doubt, you know what happened when you ate donuts every morning. Make sense? Okay. So we're going to go over your own personal scientific method. Okay? That's what you have in front of you. And we're going to actually observe some things about you personally. We're going to question some things. We're going to develop a hypothesis. We're going to develop your experiment. And then we're going to proceed forward. Okay? Does everyone have a clipboard and a pen? Okay, here we go. Observation. The action or process of observing something or someone carefully in order to gain information. Okay? So in the last 4 weeks, we've been doing all sorts of stuff with your food and hopefully your exercise. I want you to write down one of your observations. There's different ways we observe. We have goals. You need to observe your goals. You remember your first goal review or maybe your 10th goal review and you're like, I don't have any goals. We came up to you and we're like, hey, we need to sit down and talk about goals. And you're like, I don't have any goals. You haven't observed your goals. You have goals, at least to stay alive, right? At least. And it might be more detailed than that, but you do have goals. So, observing your goals, you can write that down. Observing your food. You've been doing food logs. Observing where you spend your time. What am I doing with my time? Because all of that has to do with whether you have time to meal prep and sleep and work out. Your sleep. How much sleep am I getting? How am I sleeping? Right? So write down some observations you've made. And then write down some observations where you're like, I don't know the answer to that. Right? I've observed that my insulin resistance scores stay high or low. High? Is it high if you're insulin resistant? Because there's more insulin in your system? Yeah, high. My scores stayed high. Not like golf. Okay. No, it's like golf. Low scores are good. Yes, not like I play golf. I play golf. High scores are good.
No, low scores are good for golf.
I know, but except for when I play.
Oh.
I reverse it. Yeah. Good. You can also write down, freaking my body fat's not moving. That's an observation. My body fat's not moving or it's going the wrong way. That's an observation. Write down some things. Maybe some things you're concerned about that you've observed in the last 4 weeks because you've been paying attention, hopefully, throughout Spark. Your training logs, right? I am not getting stronger. I am getting slower. I am weak on one side of my body. I don't know. My range of motion is not improving, right? What are some observations you've made? What do you have going on? And then, of course, there's labs, right? And this is where we were talking about the insulin resistance. So if you've made some observations on your labs, hopefully you've gotten with Josh, you've talked about it. He's helped you understand what those things mean, right? Oh my gosh, I found out my cholesterol's high. That's an observation. Oh my gosh, I found out this. Cool? Ready to move on? Some of you are still thinking. I love this. Okay, so now we ask the question. A question is going to be a testable objective. Objective means you can see it in the real world. This isn't up here in your brain. This is like a chair. It's there. We all agree it's there, right? It's in the physical. When we talk about how are you doing objectively, we look at your numbers. We look at your graphs. When we talk about how are you doing subjectively, it's like how you feel about it, what you think about it. Those are subjective. Okay, so when we're doing our scientific questioning, we want to be objective. We want to ask a question that we can observe in the real world. It definitely, so there's 3 parameters a lot of times that we use to analyze how you're doing as coaches, and you should be using the same questions on yourself. How do you feel is one of those questions, but that is subjective. We can't observe that, and we have all sorts of fluctuations that change how we feel. People around us, our hormones, okay? Objectively, we go, how are you performing? And we can see that in your training logs. How are you performing? How are your workouts going? Are you getting faster? Are you getting stronger? Are you getting more efficient? And then we also say, we ask you, how do you look? And that's, again, very subjective, okay? From day to day, I look like a total fat ass to being as fit as I could ever imagine. It's crazy, Eugene. It's crazy up here. It's crazy. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're like, how was I so fit yesterday, and now today, after having a handful of popcorn, I'm suddenly the weakest thing I've ever seen in my life, right? Nah, more subjective, right? That's a subject, yeah, psychological, exactly. It's happening up here, not down here, okay? Don't worry, popcorn doesn't make you weak that fast. That fast. So write down, okay, so testable objective inquiry that can be answered through experimentation, observation, and data analysis, looking at real things in the real world. So ask your questions, put them down. Why is this? Why is that? How can this be? What will happen if I don't change anything is a very interesting question. I would say it's a little less objective, but at the same time, it isn't. If you see a trend, I gain a pound of body fat a week if I eat like this. Well, in 10 weeks, you will have gained 10 pounds of body fat, right? Will I gain 10 pounds of body fat if I keep eating like this? Will I, right? What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I don't do this? Cool? Those are all questions you can ask yourself. Why, how, what? Got a couple questions? Cool. Okay, so now we form our hypothesis. So this is a proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidence. Okay, so you only have so much information, but we can think with this. This is about using your imagination a little bit. Sort of what I was talking about, like, okay, so I think if I stop eating donuts every morning, I think my body fat will go down. That's a hypothesis, right? We still have to test it. But this is how we do your nutrition coaching, right? We go, okay, what are you doing that doesn't contribute to your health? And we get a list from you. Well, Snickers, cake. I finally met someone who told me her favorite food was cake. I was like, oh, my soulmate. Most people don't say that to me. They're afraid, but they don't know that my favorite food is cake. Okay. So she goes, my favorite food is cake. And I said, well, there we go. I know what to do about that. But that's my problem. Cake. Anyone else? Oh, cake. I got cake lovers in the house. Okay, cool. Not just any cake. Okay. That's your thing. Yeah. Oh, guys, we're getting sidetracked. Cake sidetracks me. Okay, here we go. So, I know, distract me with cake. So listen, the hypothesis, this is what we do all the time. We go, oh no, like my deadlift is like getting lower and lower and lower in terms of weight. I can pick up less and less weight. Okay, why? Why is that happening? Right? And then we go, well, probably because I'm only getting in 4 workouts a month, right? Probably because I stopped lifting heavy things. Probably because I tweaked my back and now I'm scared to hinge, right? There's probably something. And so we use our imagination to connect the dots. That's our hypothesis. Okay, and that will start to lead us towards experimentation. So write down a hypothesis for one of your questions there. So this example here is like, if I do this thing, that's a protocol, this thing will move me towards this goal. That's like the hypothesis that we will typically make with you. We'll go, okay, so like low-hanging fruit. I could get up 30 minutes earlier and get a workout in. If I get up 30 minutes earlier and get a workout in, it will move me toward less insulin resistance. If I get up 30 minutes earlier and get a workout in, it will move me toward lower body fat. If I stop eating donuts every morning, it will move me toward not being diabetic. That's the goal. Does that make sense? So that's where I want you to create a hypothesis for yourself. Yeah? And I think all of us have different goals, so that's part of our observation. We need to know what we're moving towards, right? And there's all sorts of protocols. I can't even count the number of things I've tried on you guys. All custom built, right? Of course, we do our group ones like Spark and Quick Cut and soon coming Buns and Guns protocol. We do our group ones so we could all learn on the same experiment at the same time. But a lot of you have had individual ones. Can someone think of something that was like tailored to you that you want to share? No? Yeah, give me one. Okay, so it was eat this much, and it will move you toward your goal of, what was your goal? Lose fat. And then we test it, which is our next thing is the experiment. Okay, anyone else have like a personalized protocol you tried?
Yeah, you did the modified carnivore.
We tried the carnivore experiment. So carnivore is just eating meat. She's saying modified because we added berries and dairy. We tried it, and it was to move her towards her goal of better health. Yeah, but we also learned in her experiment.
You can't sustain that forever.
Yeah, that was one thing we learned. The other thing we learned is we didn't get better results than Quick Cut protocol.
Correct.
Yeah, so we put her back on Quick Cut. She did 4 weeks modified carnivore, but
I did more than 4 weeks.
oh, okay, she did 6 weeks, but she got better results doing the Quick Cut protocol.
Or similar results, and I was able to eat like fruit.
Yep.
Like more options of fruit in the Quick Cut versus carnivore was really strange.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would eat vegetables, or I wasn't able to. Remember,
That's right.
I wanted a salad. I was like,
Crazy.
salad.
Crazy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have any questions on this part? No? Okay, cool. Did you all get one? Did you get a hypothesis for yourself? Okay, cool. Okay, so then comes the experiments. And you guys have been part of a lot of experiments, whether you know it or not. You're being experimented on every day. So the experiment we've been running these last 4 weeks is to eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some starch, little fruit, no sugar, and no seed oils. That's been the experiment these last 4 weeks. Okay, 3 weeks? 4th week? I know it's our 4th briefing, but that means there's 3 weeks that have passed. Okay. Did you say 2 weeks? Okay, just checking. He's like, I was off for a week, whatevs. Okay, so so this also translates. These are all the same thing, believe it or not. This also translates. If you eat like this, you're going to eat high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate. If you eat like this, that's going to be what your macronutrients will look like. Okay? And then another piece of the experiment that we've been trying to do is support your exercise, but not your body fat. We want you to be able to train, but we don't want to support body fat. We want body fat to drop off. Cool? So this is the experiment we've been doing alongside your exercise, which has been constantly varied functional movement at high intensity. Yeah? You guys have been doing that experiment for a little while. Making sense? Okay, so you've been in an experiment already. So the next step is to design your next experiment, because this is our last meeting in Spark. So you're going to have some time without me and without Josh each week briefing you and talking to you. What are you going to do? What is your next experiment? What are you going to test on yourself? Based on the hypothesis that you just wrote, you know, if I do this, I get this. If I do that, I get that. What is your experiment? We want it to be realistic. And realistic, this is really important. This goes back to Sonia's carnivore experiment, okay? Can you do it for a long time? Super important. Or if you can't do it for a long time, do you have some reason, something to learn from it? Okay, we can't do Spark for a long time, but you had a reason to do this experiment to learn from it. And that's permanent. The knowledge you gain is permanent, even if you are doing the experiment temporarily. So can you do it for a long time? Is it real to be prolonged, or do you have some real important information to get out of doing it temporarily? Okay. Do you have the mental capacity to do your experiment? We're not mice in a lab. We have a ton of other factors. We have families, we have jobs, we have communities, we have hobbies, we have hormones, we have tons of other factors. Nobody is just spoon feeding us exactly what we need to eat every day. So it needs to be realistic in your life and in your mental capacity. If you are caregiving right now for somebody and you want to take on a strict protocol in your nutrition, now is not the time. Okay? Right? You guys know who have caregiven. Not the time to take on a strict protocol. So it needs to be real. Something you can actually do. It needs to be financially real. You're going to go start an experiment that costs $1,000 a month. Okay. Anyone ever do the meal services where they ship you the food? Yeah. Okay. A lot of us have tried it. I did it for a long time too. It's expensive and the food gets really boring really fast. Right. And it's like, okay, you know, like what was that worth? Well, I try everything and it's worth it for you guys. That I try everything for you guys. Just so you know, like sometimes I forget that I'm supposed to do nutrition for my own body because I'm like, what needs to be tried next, right? But it needs to be real. If you can't afford $1,500 of ready-made meals, then don't do that. Don't run that experiment, right? Time needs to be real time-wise. If you're like, okay, my experiment is I'm going to make a new dish every day. Okay. Pull up a new recipe, go to the store, get the ingredients. Like, is that real? Right? Keep it real. Keep it real. So it needs to be specific. So sometimes this might sound familiar. Some of you have like getting off sugar and you're like, that's it. I'm just going to no sugar. I drink 7 Pepsis a day, Snickers bar at dinner, no sugar. And I'm like, trust me when I say that's not realistic. Let's cut it back a little bit at a time. Our first experiment is to have 1 Pepsi at every meal. Seriously, if you're having 7, okay, 1 Pepsi at every meal and that's it. And we pair it with the meal to help reduce that crazy glucose spike that's going to happen because you're having it with food. It will help slow it down just a little bit, make it a little less dangerous, right? But it's like, okay, let's be real. What's real? Okay, if I say, oh yeah, I'm a Dutch Bros girl. I'm driving through Dutch Bros every morning, just loading up on whatever they serve you. It's dangerous out there, guys. Maybe we could order something a little different from Dutch Bros, right? I don't know the Dutch Bros menu. I just tell you not to go.
No, they have teas and you do not have to sweeten them.
Okay, there you go. But who wants tea when you're going for coffee?
Well, I don't drink coffee. I get tea.
Well, that sounds like a good solution for you. They do now.
And they have the protein.
They didn't back in the day. You literally couldn't get a cup of coffee from them because everything was pre-mixed. They have espresso. They don't have drip coffee. You can get an Americano. Good to know. I'm still not going. Okay. Okay. So guys, it needs to be real. It's got to be real. It's got to be specific. You know, if we're going from 7 Pepsis, we're going down to 3. Sometimes we do a common one to get sugar out of the diet is you need to eat 1 thing with added sugar a day. Not 0. You need to eat 1 thing with added sugar a day. That's for the folks who have like a hardcore sugar thing. It's like, okay, don't skip a day. Go get that one thing every day. Don't skip a day. Every day, one thing. It's specific and it's for a reason. And then you go for a month like that and you see what you can do next. Maybe it's every other day. If you had sugar yesterday, you don't have it today, right? And then you work on that experiment. And how does that work for you? Okay. That's the realistic part. It's got to be mentally realistic, physically realistic. It's got to be within your means. Otherwise, what's the point? Okay. Why set yourself up for that loss? Cool. Okay. Specific and time bound. There better be an end. Seriously. We tried. Guys, we tried an experiment. We were like, the Quick Cut's so great. Everybody's dropping fat like crazy. Our Quick Cut program, not last year, the year before, was dropping body fat percentages left and right. It was incredible. Who benefited from the Quick Cut when we did those short bursts? It was insane. It was absolutely insane. Buckets full of fat just coming out of the gym, right? Buckets full in 4 to 6 weeks. Insane. We're like, let's do it all the time. That was my next experiment. Let's have it go on forever. Guess what happened? Because it wasn't time bound, we lost the excitement, the I can do this, the motivation, the it's only 6 weeks, I can do this, right? And so we lost the results, we lost the effectiveness, and then we canceled it. Yeah, we canceled it. We're like, we're not doing that anymore. We got to go back to doing it the way we used to do it, which is short bursts of time where we focus in as a group and we strip the fat off our bodies. And we learn a lot while we do it, but it's time bound. Do you see the difference between a time-bound experiment and if you can't do it forever, don't do it? Okay. I do time-bound experiments all the time. I go, okay, I'm going hardcore carnivore. Here's the time. Okay, I'm going keto. Here's the time. Right? I'm going to go from here to here, and then I'm going to assess. It's got to be time-bound when we're running experiments. And then once you learn stuff from that, then you figure out what's permanent. Make sense? Yeah, you got to learn from your experiments. And that's the next part. You can't just experiment. You have to learn from your experiment. Okay, so everyone good with their experiment? Got something down? Okay, it's on the back side. Did you guys write down an experiment? Okay, yeah, take it out of your head and put it on the piece of paper. What are you going to experiment with after today? What's your next experiment? How can you improve? What's the next thing you can improve on? We talked about doing at-home workouts when you're stuck with mom at home, right? That's an experiment. Let's try. If I've got 5 minutes in the middle of caregiving, I'm going to get a workout in 5 minutes, right? That's an experiment. And then when are you going to check in on that again, right? Luckily, you're part of accountability, so I'll check in with you next week. There we go. It's a 1-week experiment. Okay? Make sense? Okay, everyone's got something? They're going to tackle. Anyone want to share their experiment, what they're going to do? Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, I got a plan on eating 10 to 50% more food because by the time I get through 2 meals and I'm overworked already, now it's the end of the night and I'm like, I don't have the time or the stomach capacity to fit in that extra 30% I didn't eat earlier.
Cool.
So I plan on eating more. We're going to try that out for 3 weeks.
Good. And 3 weeks. There you go. There's your time out. Jen, you want to share? What's your experiment?
I haven't eaten any red meat, and I'm just dropping very little of it right now.
Okay.
I'm just doing an experiment with my cholesterol.
Okay. And when does it end? When do you get tested again?
Friday.
There you go. Bam. And you've been on that experiment for a couple weeks now. Great. There you go. Those are experiments. Anyone else have a cool? Yeah. Nice. Nice. Love it. Great experiment. When are you going to test it? For the month. You can do it for a month. Awesome. Super awesome. Anything else? Any other experiments? Okay. Very good. Then we go, once we're through our experiment. So now we did an experiment. We did Spark, right? Now we got to analyze. We use the InBody scans mostly to do our, everyone scanning regularly here? Everyone doing that? Okay. That's our easiest way of analyzing how our experiments are working. When I talk to athletes and they're like, oh yeah, I don't scan. I'm like, okay. Well, exactly. There's definitely subjective ways of knowing. You look good, you feel good, you're performing well, right? You feel good. Great. Okay, cool. But it's also good to get some objective measurements. Are we headed in the right direction? Because here's the thing, guys. Your body fat percentage is a precursor to not feeling good. You can not feel good. You could feel fine for a very long time before you're in trouble. So that subjective measurement is I feel fine. it turns out it's not the greatest way to catch problems before they become major problems, right? It's like all those friends you talk to about how you're exercising and feel so much better, and what do they say to you? I'm fine. I'm fine. I feel fine. Are they getting healthier right now, or are they getting sicker right now? If I'll tell you, if they're not doing something about it, they're getting sicker. If they're not actively working at their health, guaranteed they're getting sicker. Our world is not constructed to make you well. Our world is constructed to make you sick. The foods, the marketing, what is fun to do, right? Netflix. Yeah, right. Netflix is not designed to make you healthy. TikTok, right? Instagram, those are not there to make you healthy. So if you aren't actively doing something for your health, you are getting sicker. But they feel fine. I'm fine. Nothing's that bad, right? And then they get more and more used to the things that are going bad. That's just the way it is. This is what it feels like to get old. I'm just getting older. Anyone ever hear that? I'm just older now. Oh, sweetie, I'm 70. It's too late for me to change. My grandma used to say that to me. I hope she never watches this video. Right? But really, if they're not doing something, they're getting sicker. And I think I feel fine, so why check? Well, because you can check in before you don't feel fine, and then you can do something about it. Okay? Yeah. You guys know. You have people around you who haven't been to the doctor in 10 years, and then they go to the doctor and find out they're diabetic and they have high cholesterol, and they're going to have a heart attack any day now. And they've just been fine until the doctor told them they weren't fine, right? But that was done by actual measurement. So we need to analyze the data. The only way to analyze data is you got to have the data, okay? So after your 2-week experiment, you're going back to the lab. After your 4-week experiment, you're going to get another in-body scan, right? And so that's what we use these numbers for. Cool. The coaches are really good at analyzing the data. So you might see something and be like, oh no, and then you sit down with us and you're like, oh, okay, it's all right, right? Because that's going to be extracellular water, and it's a ratio between the water inside the cells and the water outside the cells. It has absolutely nothing to do with your health. What it has to do with is where the water is sitting in the body, because that will affect your scans. So this is not a health marker. This is can we compare this scan to this scan based on the difference in where the water's sitting right now in this moment. You can change this. Kilos. Kilos, guys, kilos. You can change this by exercise. You could do a scan before the workout and then do a scan after the workout, and this will change. So this isn't a health metric. Okay. And that's also why we tell you guys to scan before the workouts. Yeah. Good. So we compare new data to the original data, right? And then we look at what contributed. That's part of the analysis. Well, okay, our muscle grew. Why? How come? What'd you do? We need to ask that question. Okay, your fat grew. Why? How come? What'd you do? Right? I know, it's like always the embarrassing one, right? So you sit down with your coach. Oh, fat's up 5 pounds. And she asks you, why? Oh, I don't know why. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Let's talk about it. Now, there are some cases where we don't know why. And then I send you to Josh. And he cuts you open to look inside. No, I'm just kidding. Different doctor. Yeah. Does that make sense? So what helped? What didn't help? That's the analysis. It's simple. We do it all the time. Does this sound familiar? I'm giving you all my secrets. You won't need me anymore. You're going to be able to do this on your own. This is what we do. This is the process, okay? So I want you guys to write down your analysis. I want you to write down what helped contribute to your goal and your health in the last 3-4 weeks and what hasn't. So under your analysis, write down something that worked and something that didn't work. What contributed and what didn't contribute. What distracted you? My kid's waking me up every hour in the middle of the night. Maybe it is. Get some earplugs. Just kidding. Not you, Eugene. So detailed examination of the elements or structure of something. What are the elements, the pieces, the factors that went into the change? Good or bad? Could be both, right? Good things happen, bad things happen. Why? Cool. Okay. Conclusion. This is not the conclusion of our class, but it is the last piece of the scientific method. It looks like I saw this slide. I was like, oh, I'm done. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Literally what I was, never mind. That's how my brain is lately. I'm like, I wrote the slide called conclusion, so I must be done. I'm not done. So the conclusion is just, okay, what did we learn, right? It's a judgment or a decision reached by reasoning. Okay, well, turns out that's what I learned, right? You guys have learned so much since being here, right? Okay. We need to look at that and then strengthen it, right? Okay, great. You reached a conclusion. Now, how do we buckle down on that? How do we reinforce that? The thing that worked or the thing that didn't work, how do we kick it in the teeth? Okay? All right. I also want to mention there are more factors than just what you ate and how much you exercised. Yeah. Like sometimes what you ate is actually a result of something else, right? Like your period, how much sleep you got the night before, that new TV show that your best friend was like, you gotta watch it, right? Emotions, right? There's more factors than just what you ate and your extra. There's so much more to you than exercise and nutrition. So think about those things too. Like really look at what's going on. Yeah. Right? Like, oh, I suddenly was inspired in life and took on a brand new project. What happened? What changed? Right? Like, don't forget those things because they're huge. They ripple. And then the people you decide to hang out with, that's a huge one, right? You might think, you may not recognize right away how those people are affecting you. But have you guys ever heard the idea that you become the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? Happens slowly, but it happens. It's contagious. Other people's attitudes is contagious. They start going, I was just talking to a mom this last week, one of our newer people, and she's like, the women in my life just keep telling me that it's okay. It's okay. Like, give it to God, let it go. It's okay. It'll all work itself out. Just let it be. Don't worry. Stop stressing. Just sleep. And she's like, I can't. It leaves me with nothing to do about it but sit here in it, right? Pay attention to the people and the things that they're saying, right? And recognize that as a factor. She's feeling more and more depressed because she feels more and more like there's nothing she can do about it and that her worrying about it is even wrong, right? So is that something constructive for her health? Is that making her healthier or is that making her less healthy? This is good or bad, right? This is how I measure good and bad. It's either building you up or it's tearing you down. So is that super friendly, nice friend telling you not to worry about it, is that building you up or is it making you go the wrong way, right? Is it making you sit on your couch instead of going to the gym and trying something, right? Which way is it pushing you? I get, oh, well, it's all meant, nice. It's all meant to be this or that or the other thing, right? Whatever. Who cares how it's meant to be? What is it actually doing in your life? Okay. So don't forget the other factors. That was my point in that whole talk. There's more to it than just what you eat and how much you exercise. Cool? Okay. And you can also tell them, like, hey, I don't like it and I'm doing something about it. Stop telling me it's okay. It's not okay for me. It might be okay for you. It's not okay for me. Cool? You can do that. You might lose friends. Yep. There are people who cannot handle me. You are the rare few. Yep. You are rare. Okay. And then refine your experiment and repeat the cycle. Notice this goes in a circle. This is never ending. This is how we learn. This is how we do life. We dive in, we learn something, we try something better the next time. That's all we're doing here. Dive in, learn something new, do something better the next time. Over and over and over and over until you become more and more and more in charge of what's going on in your life and your body. Cool? It's not until you stop doing that and just start accepting the way things are that we stop learning and getting better. As soon as you have that attitude of like, well, everybody else is just watching Netflix and eating donuts, so it must be okay. It's over, right? So we just keep going. And your observation should result in what's next. So write it down, right? What have you observed? What have you observed over the last 3 weeks? And then you already wrote down your next experiment. I kind of cheated. I like blended those together, right? We kind of like went through one cycle, but also started the next cycle. Make sense? Cool. Any questions on this? No? Does everyone feel like they have something to do next? Fantastic. That's what I really wanted to achieve today, is that we didn't end Spark with, okay, it's over now. Because it's never over. Okay, good. Hence the infinity sign on our logo. You ever notice? Yeah. No end to that, right? Just keeps on going. Okay, this is the last slide. From a spark to a flame. I made that up. So the idea is it doesn't end. Here's what we have for you next, okay? Our next experiment, which we have run before and is very successful, is a quick cut. So after the CrossFit Open, we're going to run a quick cut. It'll be 4 weeks long like we used to run it. It'll be all in, hardcore, in the box, learned a ton, and then we'll get out. Not out of the box, but we'll get out of the experiment.
So it's similar to Spark.
It's different. Yeah, Spark was...
Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, same time. Yeah, different experiment. It's a different experiment than Spark. Yeah, it changes bodies quickly. So Quick Cut will be the 21st of March to the 11th of April. If you want to write it down, we'll meet on Saturdays, just like we did with Spark. It's $100. Some of you already paid for the whole year of programs. That's awesome. I'm really excited that you guys are going to go all year in each experiment. Every time when we do these, so you know, every single time, Josh and I go back, we review what happened, we review your results, we review how we delivered the information, we see where we can improve it, and it gets better and better every time. So Quick Cut, in fact, Quick Cut's going to look really different, and because now we have 12 weeks of education to consolidate into 4. My problem, not yours. Yeah, but we were doing 30-minute briefings, and we're going to do full hours just like this after class. Okay, so same structure. We'll have more time to go over everything. Yeah, and that one's all about just stripping fat off your body. That's literally what it was designed for. Let's just drop fat, and we do it as a group. Okay, and we want to maintain your muscle mass. It's a big part of the program. During the Quick Cut, we will run a body composition challenge. We call it the Body Comp. You get to gamble on your ability to lose fat. So the idea is you put some money in a pot, totally voluntary. You don't have to do it. But you put some money in a pot, and whichever female and whichever male gets their body fat percentage to make the greatest change in a positive direction wins the money. It gets split between the male and the female winner. We've given away as much as $1,800 per each winner. Yeah, because people like to gamble. They'll put more money in the pot than they will into their education program. Yeah. People like to gamble. So we will do that for this challenge. It is specifically geared for body fat. And then this one I'm really excited to tell you about. Josh is going to be running a program called the CGM Challenge. So CGM stands for continuous, ongoing, glucose. What's our glucose? Blood sugar, the sugar in your blood. Yep. Monitor. It's watching you. Okay. So it plugs into your arm like this. It's much smaller than that, or that person is very tiny. Plugs into your arm like this. It has a little sensor that goes in, and it gives you a reading every 5 minutes on where your blood sugar is at. How many milligrams of sugar is running through your bloodstream every 5 minutes. And Josh and I are mid our experiment. We're running an experiment. We always do this. We do it to ourselves before we do it to you. Okay? Mid our experiment, I was like, oh my gosh, Josh, we have to do this for everybody. It is so cool. So night 1, we put these things on Monday. It's only been 6 days, right? We're like freaking out about it. Night 1, we put these things on, we go to bed. The freaking app has all these dumb alarms, which we didn't know how to turn off. They're alarming. My glucose is dropping below 60 while I'm sleeping. It's like, meh, meh, meh. Michael's like, do you need to eat something? I was like, no, I don't. I'm fine. I'm trying to sleep. And then it like goes up and then drops back down. And it's like, meh. He's like, are you going to die? I was like, I don't think so. Right? Crazy, wild. I would have never expected so much activity inside of me while I'm sleeping. Dead asleep until the alarms went off, right? Maybe that's why my cortisol spiked. The alarms waking me up, making me angry, right? I don't know. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. I had no idea. It sparked a whole like research project about why is this happening? Is this why I'm so cold all the time? I mean, it just like, I just went off, right? That's why there's no more room in here. So it's a really cool thing. It's shocking. My glucose levels have spiked more from things you would think food, right? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Food does not affect your blood sugar like other things do. Yeah, I was sleeping. My blood sugar was like through the roof. It was like, meh, 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 meh. I was not eating in my sleep. Okay? It was mind blowing. So he's going to run this. These are the dates. He's going to do 2 classes. The first class, we're going to teach you how to turn off the stupid alarms. You got to keep your phone near you or it's going to alarm, right? Like all sorts of stuff, right? We'll teach you all that. We'll get it plugged into your arms. It doesn't hurt. I actually have a video of him putting it into my arm because I thought, well, let's record this, right? And I was freaking out. I was like, here we go. I hate needles. I'm like, things on the outside should stay on the outside, And I didn't even notice. It wasn't bad. And I'm a wimp, so it'll be okay. We'll plug it into your arms, and then we'll go over some education, right? About how to record data. This is an experiment. How to record data that will help us analyze what's going on with your blood sugar. Okay? It's all in the app. It's really cool. Okay? Really simple, really cool. And then you'll also get a one-on-one data analysis with him. So at the end of the experiment, when you're through the days with your monitor, you'll have a one-on-one appointment where you'll look at your graphs and you'll look at your data. We'll teach you how to record it, and you'll get to actually work out a plan, right? It's a science experiment. And then you'll have 2 educations, right? The first one's mostly set up with some basics. The second one will dive deeper into glucose and insulin and all those factors. Like you got a little taste of it last week. This will be all focused on that, 100% on that. Okay? All right. So mark your calendars. We're looking at this costing. We have to find out exactly how much the monitors are going to cost because he can provide it through the clinic. But it's probably going to be about $200 to $250 to run that challenge, including your appointments, your monitor, everything. Okay? If you know you want to do this, and Josh has a clipboard, he's going to put your name down to make sure we get you on the list for this. Okay? We will have limited space because he can only get so many of these at a time. Okay? Cool? That's all I have for you. Do you have any other questions? I know I left you guys. Yeah.
How long will the videos be available on the videos from your previous?
SugarWOD? Like on SugarWOD?
Yeah.
So here's how this works. SugarWOD only lets us have what are called tracks where we keep a program. We're only allowed to have 5 active programs. So basically we have to take a track down or a program down when we have to put another one up because we're using all 5. So we have our workout of the day track, right? We have our at-home track. We have our Pace Health track for our beginners. We have Quick Cut track, which is active because we still have our remote quick cutters working the program. And right now we have this track. So we're taking up all 5. So as soon as we introduce another program, that will come down. So like probably in March, because no, we won't have to have a track for that. Buns and Guns maybe is when we'll have to take it down, or we have the moms group that's up and running now. And so they might take a track. And then I'm going to call SugarWOD and be like, your rule is stupid. Give me another track, right? Something like that. But that's why they come up and down is because we're only allowed 5. Maybe if I pay them more, I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. But they're there. Every Saturday, if you look back, they're there. We won't take them down until we have to. Yeah. And if you ever want the talks again, I can send you the link directly because it's always on YouTube. It's just accessing it through SugarWOD that goes away. But the videos are, if there's any video you ever want, I can go in and give you the link for that video. Yeah, they're there. You just have to have the link for it. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Okay, great. If you don't feel like you know how to answer those questions that we talked about in the beginning of this talk, please stick around. I would love to like get you going in the right direction with those questions because there's definitely some answers. But thank you guys so much for participating in this. Give your name to Josh if you need to be put on the list for Quick Cut and or the CGM challenge. Okay? He's right there with his clipboard. Don't leave him hanging. Good job, you guys. You can leave these clipboards here. You're welcome.
I sent my higher muscle mass, lower body weight to my daughter, who's a competitive bodybuilder.
She's so
She's
proud.
like, Nanny, you're doing so good.
Oh.